I'm sorry, Mr. Harrison, but there's a temporary hold on your account due to unforeseen security protocols. We can't process any transactions right now, the bank teller stated, her voice a cool, practiced monotone. Arthur Harrison, 78, a decorated combat veteran, gripped the edge of the counter. His small, fixed pension had just been deposited, and he needed it for his wife's urgent medication. Unforeseen protocols on my pension? That's absurd. The teller merely handed him a pamphlet with a helpline number. 7 minutes later, Arthur sat defeated on a lobby bench as the bank's main glass door swept open. The stern-faced CEO of the entire banking corporation strode in, heading directly for the manager's office with a look like thunder. If you believe our heroes deserve better than bureaucratic brick walls, type honor below. Arthur Harrison had lived a life carved by discipline and quiet resilience. His modest apartment, shared with his wife Martha, who suffered from a chronic respiratory illness, was a reflection of his meticulous nature. Every bill was paid on time. Every medication refill was precisely scheduled. His Army pension, earned over 30 years of service as a master sergeant in logistics, often under harsh and unforgiving conditions, was their primary income. It wasn't much, but when combined with Martha's small disability payment, it was enough. Barely. Arthur was a man of routine. On the first Tuesday of each month, like clockwork, his pension was deposited, and, like clockwork, he would visit their local First National Fidelity Bank branch to withdraw enough cash for monthly essentials, including the rising co-pays for Martha's life-sustaining inhalers and nebulizer treatments. He had banked there for decades, knew most long-term staff by name, and had never had a problem. Today was different. Martha had endured a rough night. Her breathing had worsened. Her specialist had prescribed a new, stronger medication, expensive and not released by the pharmacy without upfront payment. Arthur felt the urgency as he approached the familiar counter. The teller was new. A young man named Kevin, barely out of his teens, carried himself like someone who'd memorized the rule book without understanding its purpose. His bank uniform was worn stiffly, with an air that bordered on a scowl. "Can I help you?" Kevin asked, tone flat, eyes already glued to the computer. "Yes, son," Arthur said politely, sliding his bank card and a withdrawal slip across the counter. "Arthur Harrison? I'd like to withdraw $400. Kevin swiped the card, typed, then frowned. He typed again. The frown deepened. There seems to be an issue, Mr. Harrison." "An issue?" Arthur felt that familiar prickle of anxiety. "My pension was deposited this morning. I checked online before I left." "Yes, I see the deposit," Kevin acknowledged, eyes still fixed on the screen. "But the system has placed an automatic administrative hold on the account due to..." He squinted, reading, "Unforeseen security protocols being updated. It means no funds can be withdrawn or transferred until the hold is lifted by our central processing unit." Arthur was stunned. "A hold? Why?" "There's never been a hold before. I need that money urgently. My wife is ill, her medication..." Kevin cut him off, clearly reciting a script. "Sir, these holds are system-generated for customer protection during internal updates. I have no authority to override them at the branch level. The hold should clear automatically within 24 to 48 business hours." 48 business hours? Arthur echoed, aghast. "That could be 3 or 4 actual days. Her medication can't wait that long. This is my pension, not some suspicious wire transfer. Can't you call someone? Verify it?" Kevin shook his head, impatience creeping in. "There's no one to call at the branch level who can lift a CPU hold. It's all automated. Bank policy." He slid a generic bank pamphlet across the counter. "You can try calling the customer service helpline number on this brochure, but they'll likely say the same thing. Wait for the system to clear. He turned back to his screen, clearly done with the conversation. Arthur felt helpless anger rise, quickly replaced by a cold wave of despair. He looked at the teller's indifferent back, then at the glossy pamphlet promising customer first service. The irony was bitter. He knew the helpline would be an endless loop of automated menus and agents reading the same script. He thought of Martha, her labored breathing, the fear in her eyes. He couldn't go home empty-handed. "Son," Arthur said quietly, firmly, one last time. "This isn't just an inconvenience. This is a critical medical situation. Is there no manager, no one with authority who can apply some common sense here?" Kevin sighed, his tone exasperated. "The branch manager, Ms. Evans, is in a regional meeting all day. Even if she were here, she can't override a CPU hold. It's above her pay grade. It's a policy." Arthur picked up the useless pamphlet. He knew when he was beaten by a system designed to be inflexible. "I see," he said, his voice heavy. He stepped away from the counter and moved toward the customer seating area near the entrance. He needed to think, to figure out a new plan. Even as his mind felt numb. He sat down heavily in a plush lobby chair, the weight of the world on his shoulders. From his pocket, he pulled out his old flip phone. He wasn't calling the bank's helpline. He remembered a different number, one he hadn't used in over a decade. It was a direct line to someone high up in the bank's corporate structure. Someone Arthur had served with briefly during a national emergency financial liaison exercise. He'd been given the number with a warning. "Only if it's a true snafu, Harrison, a real system failure that unjustly harms someone." This felt like that. He found the contact. J. Sterling, Corp HQ, Omega Priority. He hesitated only a moment, then dialed. The call was answered on the first ring, not by an assistant, but by the man himself. "Sterling." The voice was crisp, commanding. "Mr. Sterling, sir, this is Arthur Harrison. Master Sergeant Harrison, retired. We served together briefly during the Crimson Eagle exercise. Financial liaison team." A pause, then, "Harrison." "Good God, man, that was 15 years ago. How are you? What can I do for you?" "You wouldn't call this line unless it was serious." Arthur explained quickly and clearly. His pension, Martha's urgent medication, the frozen account, the teller's indifference, the 24 to 48-hour delay. He named the branch. On the other end, he heard rapid keyboard clicks. "A CPU holds on a verified pension deposit?" Sterling's tone turned icy. "And the branch refused to escalate for a medical emergency involving a veteran? Unacceptable. Arthur, are you still at that branch?" "Yes, sir. In the lobby." "Stay there. Do not move. I'm looking at your account activity right now. This CPU hold is a misapplied flag, probably from a software patch rolled out last night without testing on pension dispersals. It should never have frozen your funds." Sterling's voice seethed. "I am approximately 7 minutes from that branch. I'm en route. This will be personally rectified." The call ended. Arthur sat stunned by the speed and gravity of the response. James Sterling wasn't just someone high up. He was, as Arthur now recalled from one of Martha's business magazines, the CEO of First National Fidelity Bank's parent corporation. He had just called the CEO about a teller. Arthur waited, caught in a strange mix of relief and disbelief. 5 minutes passed, then 6. The bank hummed with routine lunchtime activity. Kevin the teller glanced at him occasionally, wearing a smug, pitying expression, probably assuming Arthur was still lost in the helpline maze. Exactly 7 minutes after the call, the main glass doors of First National Fidelity Bank whooshed open. James Sterling, CEO of Fidelity Corp Holdings, entered with dramatic urgency. Late 50s, tailored suit, thunderous expression. He moved swiftly, eyes scanning until they locked onto Arthur. He bypassed the teller line and manager's empty office. Two stern individuals, likely his executive assistant and head of security, trailed behind. "Arthur," Sterling growled as he approached, extending his hand. "It's good to see you, though I'm incandescent with rage that it's under these circumstances." He shook Arthur's hand firmly. "This will be fixed." Sterling turned and scanned the teller line, his eyes locking on Kevin, who stared in disbelief at the very man whose portrait hung in every branch. "You," Sterling pointed, "get your branch manager, now, and come with me." Without waiting, he strode to the manager's office. Kevin, pale and terrified, scrambled after him. Miss Evans had just returned from lunch, confused by the commotion. "Miss Evans," Sterling's voice boomed, "your office. Now, and bring Mr. Harrison's account file." She recognized him instantly, paled, and rushed toward her office, nearly stumbling. The bank floor froze. All motion stopped. The CEO, the manager, and Kevin disappeared into the office. Arthur was quietly invited in by Sterling's assistant. Inside, the atmosphere was tense. Sterling did not sit. "Ms. Evans, teller Kevin," he began, voice calm but dangerous. "I've been informed by Master Sergeant Arthur Harrison, a decorated veteran and loyal customer, that his federally dispersed Army pension was frozen due to a CPU security hold, and he was denied access to funds urgently needed for his wife's medication. He was told to wait 24 to 48 hours. Is this accurate?" Ms. Evans stammered, "Mr. Sterling, sir, there was a system flag. Our policy—" "Your policy," Sterling interrupted coldly, "is to serve customers, especially our veterans, with diligence and respect. Not hide behind automated flags when someone's health is at risk. Your system glitched. Your staff failed utterly in judgment and compassion." He turned to Kevin. "Did you try to escalate? Attempt a manual override? Contact the Veteran Accounts Liaison per Directive 7 Alpha for pension deposits?" Kevin shook his head. I didn't know about Directive 7 Alpha, sir." "Then you are inadequately trained," Sterling snapped. "And you," he turned to Ms. Evans, "are inadequately supervising." He pulled out his secure phone. "IT security, Sterling. Lift CPU hold on account ending 4281. Harrison, effective immediately. Flag it. I want a diagnostic report." He hung up. "Mr. Harrison," he said, his tone now warm, "your account is now fully accessible. Ms. Evans will personally process your withdrawal, and as a profound apology from First National Fidelity, your wife's medication today is on us. In fact," he paused, "for the next 12 months, all her medication copays will be covered by my discretionary fund. It's the least we can do." Arthur was speechless. "Thank you, Mr. Sterling." "No," Sterling replied. "Thank you." He turned back to Ms. Evans and Kevin, his expression like stone. "As for you two, HR and Regional Ops will contact you. Expect retraining and a review of your suitability for customer-facing roles. This bank does not mistreat veterans." That day, Ms. Evans personally and humbly completed Arthur's transaction. Kevin was sent home pending review. News of the CEO's dramatic visit spread like wildfire. Sterling later addressed staff stating, "Our systems exist to support our judgment, not replace it. And our veterans will always be a top priority. Fail in that, and expect consequences." Arthur went home, got Martha her medication, and sat beside her, the stress of the day melting away. He felt vindicated, not just for himself, but for all veterans struggling against faceless systems. Later that week, the bank launched a Veterans Priority Service initiative, simplified verification, empathetic staff training, and dedicated liaisons. Arthur never saw Kevin again. Miss Evans was far more attentive. And occasionally, James Sterling would call, just to check in. Two old soldiers connected by a system failure and one decisive act of leadership. Because sometimes it takes someone at the very top to cut through red tape and remind us that behind every account number is a human being. And some human beings have earned a level of respect no system should ever be allowed to freeze.